Obviously had 4 starters last weekend, but only 3 games coming up this weekend. Just curious what led you to make the decision to go with Caleb Bolden for that 3rd spot.
Probably just how well he pitched against Texas, and then we didn't give him enough time to get ready. Unfortunately, he kind of talked us into that. Maybe the way it turned out, he didn't have the stuff or command that he had against Texas down there in a tough spot. So, it's a tough call, but we felt like he had thrown. If you just take the all fall and early spring, he just deserved the next shot at it because he was probably the one we left off down there in Texas. So we'll see if he can, throw, somewhere close to what he did out of the bullpen in Arlington. Hopefully this weekend.
Bob.
Hey, Dave, how you doing?
Good.
I know you guys always have a big target on your back, especially when you play the mid-major teams. But does being number 1, does that put an even bigger target on your back?
I don't know. I guess it could if you're, maybe in the other dugout. I know that when we're playing a team that's ranked real high, and if we're not, it jump starts you a little bit. Really, it just gives you something to talk about to the team. But, I don't think it's going to affect the way we play. If we go out and play well, we got a good chance to win. But I'm sure they're talking about it all the way down here. And this is our shot to, play an SEC school that's ranked in the top 5. And, it'd be big if we can win a game or two.
How do you you mentioned talking to the team, but how do you handle it with the team?
I haven't even talked to the team one time about where we're ranked. 0.
So you talk 0 times about 1?
0 times this week have I mentioned one thing about us being ranked wherever we may be ranked.
Okay, thanks.
Nate.
Yeah, I assume is Paulette starting that Friday game, and just what is the rotation this weekend?
Yeah, the rotation is Paulette Friday, and then Bolden Saturday, and Lockhart on Sunday.
And then what about the as far as left field? Where are you going this week?
Yeah, I'll start Webb tomorrow on Friday. Try to get him going, and he's our best defender out there. He's can really run. I've had some arm soreness, but when he can throw, he's one of our best arms out there as well. So, he got off to a really slow start in fall baseball, finished strong, was really swinging the bat well January, early February, and hopefully he can get it going for us because it would be a big addition to us if he can get going.
Thank you.
Hutch.
Yeah, Dave, Paulette's still kind of a young guy. How confident are you that he's ready, mentally for that Friday night role?
Well, I think it's still a work in progress, but he's very confident. He's very athletic, and can really fill this position. And he wants to goof around out there and try to take ground balls with our guys every now and then. I have to run him off, but it's always going to be a work in progress as far as the mental part of being able to handle pitching game 1, if that's where he ends up. But I think he's ready for it. And, we didn't just give it to him. He's had to earn it. He's thrown well his first 2 outings. So here we are, week 3. We'll just put him up there.
And is Vermillion available out of the pen this weekend? And do you think that'll maybe solve the command issues with all the walks he's had so far?
He's definitely available. And, you hope so. Because normally he's a strike thrower, and he usually throws a little more velocity than he's thrown the first couple of outings, and give him a chance to see the game and then realize exactly what he needs to do when he goes in. I hope that when he gets in there, he has a good outing or 2 this week.
Tom.
Hey, what can you tell us about the Murray State pitchers you're going to see and just kind of them overall, Dave?
Yeah, so, obviously we try to look at them as much as we can through video and scouting reports. Lefty we'll see tomorrow. He's not a real hard thrower, maybe up to 88. He's going to pitch anywhere from 86 to 88. Moves it in and out, throws change up and a slow curveball. So you try to prepare for that because we haven't really seen too much of that. We've seen a lot of really good velocity. I think the second pitcher that we saw this past weekend might be a little bit more of what we're going to see. You know, he was more of an upper 80s lefty with a pretty good breaking ball. This one's going to be a little bit slower breaking ball. And, you know, he's an older kid. I mean, facing teams that are 22 and 23-year-olds all around the diamond. And a lot of those kids that are pitching are the same age. So probably not going to be intimidated. He's going to come in here and do what he does. And hopefully we can hit him.
Yeah. How's Goodhart felt the last few days? Is he ready to roll? And you still doing some experimenting around at third, DH, and so on?
Yeah, he's good to go. And, you know, we have some pretty good left-handed hitters in the lineup, but I'm keeping them in the lineup. We're not really in a platoon situation because of lefties pitching against us. And we're going to see lefties. Well, I know we'll see at least one starter against Ole Miss, maybe a couple against Mississippi State, and one against Alabama for sure. So we need our left-handers to play, and they're some of our best hitters. So we're going to just go with them. As far as, you know, first and third will probably be the same guys who've been playing out there, and, you know, probably put Webb back and left.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Matt.
Hey, we haven't seen Elijah Tress since the Texas Tech game opening night. Is everything going okay with him, and do you expect him to pitch this weekend?
Yeah, he was available to go. He had a little bit of soreness, but he was available on Saturday and Sunday. We just we didn't get to the point where he got to come in. I think he was getting loose one time. He's ready to go. We plan on.
I'm sorry. Are there any other pitchers who haven't pitched yet? Maybe like a Blake Adams who we might see this weekend?
Yeah, Adams we had him loose the other day, and the rain got us. He was coming in. You know, we'd like to get him out there. He's one of the guys that hasn't thrown yet. That you know he should have, but he hasn't. It just hadn't worked out. So we'll get him out there.
Hayden.
Hey, Coach, wanted to ask really quick about Slavens and just the power that he's shown early in these 7 games, and if that's a surprise at all or just really his performance at the plate.
Yeah, it's not a surprise at all. That's one reason we got him. He's got power from the left side, swings hard, and good hitter. You know, he's done a good job for us. 3 home runs already, and hit a couple balls that were close, and he can put a charge into it. He had 5 or 6 home runs in fall ball, and probably had 2 or 3 or 4 more that might have gone out on different days. So it's not unexpected at all. We planned on it when we got him to commit here that he would hit in the middle of our lineup somewhere, whether it was 4th, 5th, somewhere in there, and it's kind of the way it's gone.
Curtis, we'll come back around to you.
Hey, Coach, just curious. Obviously, there's, I think, 7 games left until SEC play. You're probably still trying to define some of those roles on your staff. What's the balance look like right now between, you know, stretching out your starters and getting them prepped for that, and then finding innings for some of these other arms, considering, you know, not having midweeks and things like that right now?
Yeah, some of these guys. I mean, we already kind of know what our roles or a lot of these guys are. It's already what we've used them in the first 7 games, and it'll continue. I mean, if there's tight games and, you know, we need to bring in guys that are more experienced, that's what we're going to do. We're going to mix and match or match up with left on left here and there and use a guy for 1 hitter, 2 hitters, and maybe use him twice on the weekend. You know, there's a lot of innings coming up for guys that haven't pitched starting in about 2 weeks when we play OU on a Tuesday. And then I think the next couple of weeks we play 5 games a week. And that is in the middle of conference play. So I think we have Memphis a couple of times in the middle of a week, and you know there's going to be innings there. But you know, as far as roles, there's still a few guys we're trying to figure it out with, and you know, a lot of them are. There's still a lot of guys that have already pitched here in the past that, you know, we know they can come out of the pen and get it done. So. On our side, the coaching side, we feel good about where we're at, but we still have some questions to answer to see if guys can be consistent.
Jason.
Mention those questions. How much are you, or how critical are the next 2 weekends when trying to figure out your starting three? I would have assumed Paulette's in there and maybe Lockhart, but if it's not Lockhart, the other two spots, like how big are the next 2 weeks for that?
Yeah, we need to see those guys throw well. Anybody that's out there, they need to continue to prove that they're a guy that we need to put out there in conference play. And, I'm thinking they will. One of them, keeps struggling, we can always go to the next guy. We even have the luxury that if team's really right-handed or left-handed, we could always make a change just for that game and flip them around there. But there's other teams that have the same options this year because pitching staffs are deep. You've got a lot of returning guys and some older kids that came back because they could. And I think it'll work itself out, and we'll be fine.
Do we make too much of the starting rotation with how deep your staff is, where you could make changes early in a game if you needed to? That could benefit you.
I mean, I don't think you make too much out of it. I mean, it'd be nice if we were like some of these teams in the league that you take Ole Miss, they have all three of their starters back. We love the way our bullpens perform for the most part. There's been a couple of hiccups here and there, and playing in the rain the other day, I mean, you can throw maybe the walks out the window after the second inning because the mound was extremely slick and they weren't getting good grip on the ball. Both teams struggled, but it would be nice to know that we had two for sure locked in starters, and we could rotate the third one. Many years we've gone into Sundays with the TBA label and just whoever we had left, or who we decided would match up best after seeing the other team for 2 days, we would go with that pitcher. So, if our starters can give us 5 or 6, that's great. If they only give us 3 or 4, we feel like we're one of the teams that can handle that out of the pen and still win a series. If our starters don't go long, we have enough arms to get us through the weekend.
Nate?
Just Cozart, their second baseman, I think he's got 3 home runs and is hitting 387. Just what do you see from him, and just what do you see from them since they've won 4 in a row?
Just that they're a confident team, and they are a very old team. I mean, for college baseball, they've got older kids out there, and they got after, I think it was Arkansas State the other day, and put together a couple of good innings. They're winning right now, so they're feeling pretty confident rolling into Fayetteville. That's for sure. So, if there's a situation when you have a hot hitter like that, where you can pitch around them a little bit, that's what we'll do. We'll try to be smart there. So, we'll just kind of, again, we got to watch them in person, watch them hit, when they do their pregame work, and then obviously how they swing in the game to try to figure some things out. That's why you hope your first pitcher on the weekend can get you into the game a little bit, so we can evaluate what we need to do to get those guys out.
Thank you.
Matt?
What kind of pitch count do you envision for your starters?
Yeah, pitch count goes up 5 to 10 pitches every weekend. I'd say around 80, and it'd be a little bit, maybe 5. Not maybe a little bit more, but we haven't done that much here over the last 6-7 years where we've stretched them out too far this early. But if it was a smooth 80 pitches, that's not a problem. If there was a 30 pitch inning worked in there, that's gonna, that could get somebody out of there a little quicker because they were stressed out for an inning or two. But if the guy's rolling along and getting strikeouts and the pitch count gets up there, but really nobody's on base too much, and there's not long innings, and 80's not a problem.
And then I don't think you've addressed this. How is Casey Opitz?
Yeah, going into Wednesday's practice, we weren't sure if he was going to be available for game 1 or not. A lot better yesterday. He's not. He didn't do the defensive drills yesterday. But he did hit. He hit early, and he hit in the batting groups, the hitting groups later in the day. And, I was told that he was a lot better. He told me he was a lot better. He had a sore neck, to be honest with you. And kind of like, being in a car wreck, you might not know everything's what all's bothering you for a couple of days. And that was kind of the situation. Really kind of stiff and sore Monday, Tuesday and then a lot better yesterday. And I feel like he's full go today. If not, we won't play him Friday, but if he is, he will.
Last two questions here, Bob and then Hutch.
Yeah, Dave, who would start if Casey didn't play, or maybe if you felt like giving him a day off this weekend? And how do you feel like the depth of catcher behind him?
Yeah, Leach is our backup right now. And then, after that, Charlie Welch, who swings the bat really well. Leach just throws a little better. So, that's what we've seen from our workouts for the most part. Feel good about, having a couple of guys that can help Casey out throughout the season and give us some innings.
Hutch, finish this off here.
Yeah, Dave, a little bit off topic, but I think you still got 54 games on your schedule right now. Are you still possibly looking at maybe adding a midweek next week or somewhere along the way?
You think we have 54 more? I mean, we got.
Well, 54, including the 7 you've already played. I think it's at 54.
Yeah, somewhere right in there. I've looked for some games. It seems like the games that are open are on the weekend. Our weekends we've been fortunate there. I feel like that if we could find one next Tuesday, I would love it. If you find one, let me know. I'd be willing to work that in, I think. But as of now, we don't have any. We actually called Murray State before the season started and asked them if they would play us 4. And he didn't feel good about it and the travel and different things. That's how we got Southeast Missouri State to up us 1 game. But we're definitely, we would take a game or 2 if we could find it. But it's just tough when you have midweek games. They don't want to travel in the midweek too much.
All right, I'll do it. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate the time.